Hi there, it's Mandy. Hello, I've got Sharon and Sally here.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, and I am thrilled to say that we are talking today about a lovely card, the Three of Swords.
It's
Okay,
such a
happy
happy
card.
card.
Yes,
Sally.
it's one of those cards that when you turn it over, you kind of, you kind of, they know what's coming. You see their faces
Right,
drop, like,
right.
you know,
Oops.
This is the
it's,
cringe card.
yeah. So what I once again, I think this is one of those bold cards that kind of like makes a very big impact the minute you turn it over. But it can mean other things as well. So, for example, it could mean a sort of a pin cushion, like in a sewing box or something. You never know. That might be relevant. It might say somebody says, "What should I do on a rainy day?" It's kind of, well,
Mhm.
yeah,
Embroidery.
make some, yes, sew something. I don't know. I think sort of obviously on the love relationships, the obvious, and it probably is a keyword one, is it, three's a crowd. It could
Hmm.
mean that somebody's having an affair. But yeah, it is definitely kind of like you might just be asking about the weather, that it's kind of like miserable and raining. Um,
Oh, what's my vacation going to be like? Don't go. Stay home.
I
it
spent
does
I
look.
spent a summer in Canada and it looked just like that.
It's like that over here a lot. It does look a bit as well like a sort of a coat of arms. There's just something a bit Scottish about it. I don't know, but I'd be really interested to know what you two think. So go on, Sally.
Or Sharon, go for it.
It's your turn.
Fine. Looking at this card, it does scream gloom and doom if you're talking about a love relationship. It's hard to look at that and say, yeah, your relationship is going to go well.
Yes.
But not every reading we do is a relationship reading. If there were something wrong with a car, maybe you threw a rod and
Mm.
the radiator is leaking fluid. I don't know if that can actually happen. I don't work on cars, but those things kind of go together in my brain. What am I going to serve at the party? Hors d'oeuvres, something with a little stick, a little skewer stick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
maybe you need treatment to let off pressure. You know, maybe you just need to, release something because you have all this pent up emotion. It could be painful, but yeah, you need to just let go here. You need to drain that pain is what my brain is saying at the
Oh,
moment.
God. That was like epic rhyming.
Thanks.
Drain that pain.
Because that's what her brain is
Oh
saying.
God, that's amazing.
too
Drain
much
that brain. No, drain that pain with your brain card. Yeah.
too much Dr. Seuss as a child.
That's staying in.
Yeah. It's just hard to see this as a happy card.
It is. It is hard.
Sharon, do we have any happiness in this card?
Oh, God. Even in reverse, it's just not a happy card to
I
me.
know.
Hmm?
It's 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 a very painful card. It is the cringe card to me.
Yeah. I think to try and twist it to be a happy card, unless you were asking some really peculiar question and therefore it kind of double negatives or something made it happy, it's like you would be forcing it against its will to be happy. It wants to be miserable. That's how it feels to me.
That could very well be one of the meanings. There are a lot of people in the world that you can give them all the advice in the world and they would
Yeah.
still not take it because that's how they identify themselves is through their
Yeah.
misery.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But just, this card, when you see it, you're like, oh, God, you're hoping it comes up in the past. Even if it comes up in a past card
Yes.
position. It still obviously has impact on the now,
Mm-hmm.
but it gives that awareness. This is really dragging you down. This isn't one of those cards, we see these negative cards and we're like, I never want to see that. But sometimes realizing that,
Mm.
sometimes knowing that this is really holding you back is a boon. It's very helpful to know that you've got to start working on this situation. Otherwise, it's just going to stay in your life,
Mm-hmm.
if that made any sense.
Absolutely. There,
Yeah.
there's a visualization I do that has to do with releasing the connection with bad things. And I see them as hooks. So you pull out the hook and you release it. They're, silver. I do this whole visualization thing for myself. And this is a perfect card to show that somebody has set their hooks in you. And you need to pull
Oh,
those out and
yes.
send them back from whence they came.
Yeah.
I
I
like
mean,
that.
I know we don't do health readings, and I'm very glad we don't, because I would freak out if I did a health reading and that came up. I mean,
Right.
yeah, do you know what I mean? It is very kind of heart surgery, heart attacks.
Go see a
I mean,
cardiologist,
it
right?
totally
Mm-hmm.
is. Yeah, it totally. But as we don't go there, we don't need to worry about that. But
Yeah, it's a pretty sad card. I
I
mean,
can you think of any occasion where you have ever read that card in a happy way? Does any
No,
occasion actually spring to mind?
no,
nothing. No.
no. Not
Doesn't for me
even in
either.
reverse a lot. I mean, in reverse, it's for me. It has never come up as the opposite of it might just be the shadow of the pain they felt, or that stain
Yeah,
that keeps them from
Mm-hmm.
opening their heart fully. But even in reverse, it's still just a
yeah,
powerfully sad card.
yes,
Bad
it is.
enough that you got swords sticking out of your heart, but it's got to be raining too, man.
I
Right.
know, I know. It's all as far as the art of it goes. I think if they'd have put anything else in there, it would somehow take away the impact of it. I think it is meant to be one of the nasty cards, and the universe will send it to me if it really needs to go that far and needs to be said, in the nicest possible way. That's kind
Right.
of how I see it.
And it's not going to come up just to be mean. I mean, that's
No,
never
no,
going to
it comes up.
happen.
You've
Mm-mm.
got to sort of
Mm-mm.
you've got to. You don't necessarily, there's ways of saying things, but I think you have to kind of acknowledge it that there is something unhappy and sad and difficult about this situation.
Okay, you got plenty of readers out there that really try to force a positive spin into everything.
Yes,
And I
Right.
think they're actually doing a disservice because, and we've talked about this before, you've got a client sitting in front of you and they've
yes,
been to other tarot readers and everything's happy, happy, joy, joy. And you're
yes,
actually to say, oh my God, you're in pain.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
For someone to have that acknowledged, to sitting across from you, to have that acknowledgement of that pain, and then they can actually talk about it, that is very healing in itself.
Oh, yeah.
definitely. It's kind of more manageable if it's in the past though. Imagine
Right.
if you were doing a reading and the whole reading was great, and then and then
This
you
is
said,
in the future.
where is all this heading? And that came up. I mean,
Oh,
it'd be like, Jesus.
now, yeah, that's when you look at all the factors involved and see what you can, if there is
Yes,
anything you can
yeah,
do to avoid it.
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
No future
positive,
is
yeah,
written in stone.
yeah,
There are
absolutely.
clues in the spread to help
Yes,
you push forward or to avoid. There are
Right.
clues.
yes. Oh, well, has anyone got anything else to add before I go and slash my wrists?
Take one of the. We can each have a sword.
It's like, this is brutal. I was like,
It is, and we're trying to make it light, but not all cards are light. You just,
No,
you know, it is what it is.
yeah. So now that we've depressed the hell out of everybody, no.
But I've got to be honest, and I'm sure you both agree, I do have clients who, if I've heard it once, I've heard it many times, that when you do tell them something, that's not very nice, they actually say, thank you. I knew that. This has just verified what I already knew. I just feel so much clearer about it all now.
Exactly.
And they sort of respect it.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, no, you would be kind of doing a very sort of fake job if you were just nice all the time.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
And papering over the more difficult challenges of life.
Well, when you paper them over, you're not helping them. You're not helping. You can't see this card and say, oh, everything's going to be wonderful. First of all, your client sitting across from you can see that daggone card. They're going to know better. I mean, it's an image it's an image that provokes a very strong emotion.
Yes.
And your client's not going to be going, oh, you're right. They're going to be like, well, wait a minute. What? You know what I mean?
I actually think this one is more brutal than the tower, because I've had situations where the tower can be like a party. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of petrifying. The tower, depending on the question and the situation, the tower can actually be quite a fun, vibrant sort of card. But I find it very hard to say much positive about this one. That's just me personally.
And as far as the tower goes, I know we're talking about the three of swords here. I almost said the three of hearts. As far as the tower goes, there are situations where it can be brutal, but it leads to a better change. Not to get overly personal, but if there were a tower card for when Paul had his heart attack, that would have been very accurate. But because of that heart attack, we decided to keep him home, stop sending him out on the road. A very positive change was made because of it. This is a constant. This Three of Swords is a constant gloom that you carry with you everywhere you go. You can't just say, okay, this thing bad happened, let's change it so it never happens again. This is just hanging over your head. It's constant.
It still comes down to the question, though, and what it is you're answering in that precise moment. Because, like, for example, if you were saying what advice could be given to improve the situation, it would be, and this came up, it could just be, say, look, just face your hurt, face your pain, work it through.
Allow yourself to daggone grieve.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So depending on what the question is, it still might be quite tough, but it could actually really help someone, saying like you're saying, it's all right to grieve. It's all right to kind of feel pain.
Because without the process of grief, you cannot heal. And today's society, oh my God, okay. I have this Facebook friend, and a couple of years ago, her husband died. And 2 weeks after he died, she made a post about how she felt. And 6 people were like, get over it already. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Today's society is so callous and, let it go, move forward. And sometimes you can't until you take it out and cry and remember.
Yeah. Well, on that happy note, yes, if no one's got anything else to add, there you have it. The Three of Hearts. Like you said.
Gotcha.
Three of Swords. Yes, and I just sort of would be really interested to hear if anybody has ever done a reading where that has just kind of come up in a really happy, positive way. It'd be lovely to hear the circumstances of that and what they saw in it that was positive and happy.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to hear
that.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, Mandy.
Thank you, Mandy.
Bye.
Bye.